So I read Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf by Edward Albee, and this was a hoot and a half. Like, absolutely recommend. Of course, it's like a modern classic play. I don't think you needed me to tell you that it's fabulous. But it's so gay. It's so gay. I finished it and I thought, Google, was Edward Albee a homosexual? Yes. Well, that confirms it. Because I didn't want to, like, throw around presumptions because that's rude. But, come on now. Come on. It's like when we did, A Streetcar Named Desire in school. And it's like, is Tennessee Williams a homosexual? Yes. Yes, he is. Again, very similar vibes. It's like queer, but back when you couldn't be visibly queer, so instead you write these exaggerated hetero relationships where the people who get it. Like, this is very clear to me. Like, George and Martha, that's two queens. Like, yes, literally speaking, Martha is like a cis hetero female character, but the subtext, in my mind at least, my interpretation, that's two gays. That's a relationship between two sparring gay men. Like, it's incredible. Like, the stage directions make it very particular that Martha is this, like, buxom, voluptuous woman who, like, carries her flesh in this provocative way and looks good for her age. Like, that's drag. Like, that's a queer sensitivity. That's how a gay man views femininity. Like, of course. Like, George and Martha, they're gay. And I think that's again why I kept being reminded of Streetcar Named Desire, because in that play, it again very much feels like a queer allegory where Blanche Dubois is so theatrical. She's so over the top. Like, it's high camp. And you look at her and you're like, that's a queen. That is a queen. Is Stanley like a frustrated bisexual? Possibly. But you can tell, like, you could read between the lines and say, like, this isn't really about what's on the surface, is it? Like, there's some very fabulous LGBTQ plus stuff going on here. I want to see the film adaptation of this. I bet it's brilliant. Elizabeth Taylor, like, what an inspired choice for Martha. Like, not only physically, but just, like, outside of acting. She was such, like, a big queer ally, like, especially because she'd worked with, like, Rock Hudson, and so seeing what happened to him, like, made her very outspoken about, like, AIDS activism. So, yeah, I think it must be a really fabulous piece of cinema. I'm going to have to watch it. So if you've never heard of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, it is in fact a 3-act play. I'm surprised that written dramatisations aren't talked about more on Book Talk. I feel like there's definitely a hierarchy where fiction's talked about, there's a bit of poetry, there's a bit of non-fiction. I'm sure, like, anime manga's here somewhere as well, and, like, graphic novels. But then right at the tickety bottom, plays. No one talks about plays. And I don't know why they don't talk about plays, because plays are fabulous. And also, it's almost exclusively dialogue. Those, like, anti-intellectualism, I only read the dialogue and skip all of the rest of it. You'd love a book like this, because it's all dialogue. But brain rot aside, the story is a dinner party. It's a dinner party between two married couples. One married couple is like a generation older than the other married couples. They're kind of looking at them from this position of mentorship, especially because I think Nick, the husband in the younger couple, has just got a job at, like, a university campus as a biology teacher, and then George, the older husband, also works at that same campus as a history teacher, and so there's lots of conversations about past versus future, what subject is more valid, and George married Martha, who is the daughter of, like, the owner of the campus, like the sort of, like, president of the university. So that springs up a lot, and also there's lots of conversations about conception and children, and there's, like, a twist ending. It's very exciting. It's really that perfect combination of a story that is so silly that you run the risk of taking it for granted and missing the very important things that it's trying to tell you, because there is a lot going on under the surface, and it never explicitly, it doesn't really tell you what's going on. You have to sort of make your own interpretation, which is why I sort of take all of these sort of queer lessons from it, which it's probably compounded by the fact that Edward Albee was homosexual. But still, I think this is a stellar book, and it's very short as well. Seriously, why don't more people talk about plays?